All right, guys, welcome to Webinar Wednesday by Brilliant Directories, where we aim to provide you with tips to grow your online membership communities. If this is your first time joining us here, welcome. It's great to be with you guys here today. I am Jason there on the left, and we're lucky to be joined by Rick Martinez, one of the support specialists here at Brilliant Directories. You guys have probably interacted with him, whether through a support ticket or a phone training session. So Rick, it's great to have you here today.
Hello, Jason. Hello, everybody. Happy to be here. Looking forward to this great webinar Wednesday.
Awesome. Yeah, it's going to be a great webinar today. And I always like to recommend, if you're not already a member of our Facebook group, it's a great place to continue the conversations in between webinars. You can go to brilliantdirectories.com/Facebook. Just follow that link and join our page there. It's a great place to ask questions, get assistance from fellow membership website owners. And I know myself and Rick and Patrick are also there as well. And for those of you joining for the first time, just a little bit about Webinar Wednesday. Well, actually, we started just about 2 years ago. Webinars are generally every 2 weeks. I don't think we've really missed too many sessions. And it's been a really great venue and environment to share tips and ideas to market and grow your membership community. So we like to cover things such as how to increase your website traffic, how to convert visitors into members, identifying specific revenue opportunities for your industry. One of my favorites is improving the navigation of your site, because that helps with better conversions and a better user experience overall. So if you have questions on any of these topics or related topics for your website, please save them. We'd love to get to them just a little bit further down in the webinar here. I already mentioned his name once. We're lucky to have Patrick Brunel with us from the Directory Gurus. You guys are doing some pretty amazing things over there. I know just recently you launched the first phase of your training program on how to cultivate a good idea and plan for a community and membership website. Pat, can you tell us a little bit about where you guys are at right now and what you guys have already covered?
Sure thing, Jason. So so Bruce and I had a lot of fun. We did the free course. It's about a 40-minute course. It's very quick. Teaches the biggest lessons that we learned on our way to generating 7 figures with the Brilliant Directories platform. And what we realized during the course is one of the key items people need help with is what we call the launch. So basically it's the proof of concept. It's you have an idea you think or may not work, and you want to kind of test that idea and see if it's viable. And this product that we offer, which is the launch, where we work, Bruce and myself, Bruce, who's the directory owner of Yoga Alliance Professionals, and myself, we work with whoever decides to work with us on that launch, and we develop the proof of concept. We build the landing pages. We help define what that product should be, and we see if it's a viable product or not. And it's really going to go hand in hand with today's webinar topic. So I'm really excited to discuss that today.
Awesome. Pat, what do you think the biggest pitfall is, or let's call it a trap for someone who's just starting out and they're trying to do everything they can to make their amazing idea come to fruition? What's something that they should look out for or be careful about?
I would say that's our module 4 in the free course. It's called the directory equation. And basically every directory website is essentially a matching service where there's a supply and demand. So you're launching a website. It's kind of like a dating website with men and women. If you're launching a site and you don't have any women in the directory, it's going to be hard to have the men sign up and join the directory. So let's say it's a lawyer directory. And I want to get the end users to submit a lead form. If I don't have any lawyers in the directory, then they don't see enough value to fill out that lead form because I'm new to the game. And vice versa. If I'm trying to get the lawyers on the website, they're going to be asking me, how much traffic are you getting? How many leads are you guys generating? So it's a very common issue that you face. It's the directory equation. So the biggest pitfall is people that launch hoping that one of these two sides will join their directory regardless of the second half being there first, which very unlikely is going to happen. So what you need to do is you need to build a secondary product, or you need to be developing a problem to a solution that can attract one of those two halves before you start really leveraging the directory model of a matching service. The directory is the end goal. If you can ever reach the point, like Yoga Alliance professionals, where you can fulfill one of those two sides of the equation, it's very easy to drive traffic to the other side and give them a promise that you can fulfill what it is they're looking for. But you need to have a strategy in the meantime to lure in one of those two halves before you can really complete that entire mission.
Gotcha. Let me summarize that in short, because I actually did watch that module. A lot of times when people are starting their sites, they're saying, okay, well, I don't have any members. Why are visitors going to come? I don't have any visitors. Why are members going to join my site? And basically what Pat's saying is if you want to create that marketplace and make it balanced, focus on attracting one of them first with an alternate product. So you can start building subscribers on that half of your marketplace. And once you have them, then let them know that you now offer whatever it is about your directory service that you're going to offer. So now you've essentially created that half of the market. And now that you have that half of your marketplace, you can then go and seek out the other half of consumers or whoever it might be. Is that right, Pat?
That's well summarized.
All right, cool. All right, you guys should watch this. It's really awesome. These guys are doing some really cool things and giving some really awesome advice there. All right, and we always like to keep this slide here. We'll go through it pretty quickly. Those of you who've been on the webinar before, you know not to get stuck in the hamster wheel. Don't get stuck designing your site for 2 years. You need to be focusing on solving problems, making contacts, building relationships, driving traffic, building your brand awareness and credibility. It's not always about changing button colors and getting this to show there and that. So we always like this here just to remind you that your business has many facets to it, and you need to be conscious of those different areas of your business and continuously grow them and make traction towards forward progress.
And I think this webinar today, Jason's really going to address that and give people some great ideas on what they could be doing to make sure they don't get stuck in that hamster wheel.
Awesome. All right, we have a few lab updates here. I'll breeze through them pretty quickly for you guys. First one is, and I want to really thank the people in the Facebook group. You guys always give good feedback. And one of the simplest things is you just wanted to see the monthly changes that Brilliant Directories makes. And until now, the monthly changes were basically in our community forum. Let me go there. So we post them every month in our community forum under monthly changelog here. There's 47 posts here, which is nice, and you can follow this and whatnot, but you're not really spending a lot of time here, generally speaking. So what we've done is we've gone ahead and right here in your dashboard, if you scroll down, under the help section here, there is now a monthly changelog list here. So we're just listing 6 of them here, and then you can click to view the entire history. So I'll just go to one of these right now. It does take you to our Brilliant Directories blog, and in this example, it's from last month in March. So it lists all the new features that were released that month. If you scroll down more, lots of stuff is going on. Some enhancements, or maybe there were some fixes that we applied that month. And if it's ever a specific widget that was edited, we do list the name of the widget and things like that. So if you want to keep your customized code up to date, wow, this is a lot of fixes back in March. All right, so lots of good things going on, and that's a great way to stay updated with some of the monthly updates that Brilliant Directories is pushing. This next one is a fun one. It's the ability to modify the results per row on your homepage streaming widgets. So let me show you how that one works. All right, so you've got your homepage, and you could be streaming recent members, recent videos, recent blog articles, and up until now, by default, it would show 4 items in a line. And let me show you. So we're used to this, like how to design videos. It would show 4 in a row, which is perfectly fine, looks good on mobile and things like that. We've created a simple setting in the design settings area where for each of these modules, you can choose if you want maybe 3 in a row, or if you scroll more, even 2 in a row. So this gives you a little bit more control over the design of your site. If you're using the 2 in a row or 3 in a row, like for example, if you're streaming category images, just make sure you upload images that will properly, that are wide enough to properly fill these areas here. You don't want to use a square image in a rectangular area. So just be conscientious of the images that you're using, but this will give you some awesome control over more of your homepage. And I actually like the three listing option. It brings more attention to more important items. In some cases, 4 could be too cluttered on a row. So it really lets you open up your homepage a bit and give you a little bit more control. Let me show you where those settings are. From your dashboard, you want to go to Settings and go to Design Settings. And this should work for any homepage streaming widgets with the horizontal layout by default. So you can go to your homepage layout here. And in the section order is where you choose things that you want to stream. So for example, show recent videos, show recent members. Let me get rid of this one for now just so we can save the changes. And then if you toggle this one closed, so that's choosing what you want to show. Then for everything that you're showing, there's options. And it does show you all the options. What I like to do is click this checkbox here, and it'll only show the options for the things in the section orders you've enabled here. So you're not going to see all the 15 or so options. So it helps you keep things a little nice and tidy. But I just want to show you guys, let me show you for the design ideas here. So that would be for the photo albums. Right now it's set to 3 and 3 results. Let's set it to 2 in a row and 2 results. Let's save that. Okay, great. So again, this is where you want to just be conscientious of your image widths and things like that. If you work with a designer, they could probably use CSS to just make sure that these are showing correctly. The images are showing better, but now you do have 2 in a row here, which again, I feel like it opens up the page a bit. So you guys could play with those options, and we'd love to see what you come up with and how you use it on your homepage there. All right, the next one, another one that's been highly requested in the Facebook group is a one-click option to export your newsletter subscribers. This one's pretty straightforward. I'll show you where you can export your newsletter subscribers. And it's not just your newsletter subscribers. Any website visitor who's filled out the lead form to contact your members, they're saved on a contact tags list in your admin. Anyone who's filled out the contact us form on your website, and also your newsletter form, and there's probably a few other various forms here that I'm missing, but you can go to your dashboard. I'll start there, and you can go to emails and go to your view contacts. So contacts are different than members because they're not registered under a membership level. They're just people who have kind of filled out newsletter forms and things like that. So we have a few samples here. So you can see the tags that are associated with these people. There might be one or multiple tags. So this person is a lead submissions form, contact us form. So what I can do is I can search for people who have filled out my contact us form, and I should get the result. So it's just this one person, and there's a button here, export contact results. You all should have this right now. So if you have lots of people, thousands or hundreds, this is really convenient for you now. Just click on export contact results, and you should get a download option here. And I'll just open this up. And now you have the information for this one contact here, some metadata here as well. So you can keep the fields that you need and remove the ones you don't, and perfect for exporting to like a third-party emailing platform like MailChimp or Constant Contact. All right, and then a lot of people ask if you can integrate an affiliate program with Brilliant Directories. You certainly can, and there's 2 that have native integrations with Brilliant Directories that we've already added as settings for in your general settings. It's actually ShareASale and Post Affiliate Pro. And basically, if you sign up to an affiliate program, you're asking people to send traffic to your site, and if those people end up paying, you're going to give a small nominal commission to the affiliate who originated that traffic to your website. So let me show you where you can add your ShareASale or Post Affiliate Pro credentials if you're using them. So we're going to back to the dashboard, And we're going to go to Settings, General Settings, and under the Integrations tab here, you can scroll down. And here, the last option, Affiliate Program Integrations. If you have ShareASale, just put your ShareASale ID. If you have Post Affiliate Pro, just put your Post Affiliate Pro URL, and it will automatically start tracking successful signups, both free and paid actually, on the checkout pages. And obviously, if they're paid, it knows the amount, and these programs will automatically provide the commission, the percentage commission to the respective affiliates. So pretty convenient here. You don't have to do any high-level customizations to add these affiliate programs to your site. And lastly, there is a new membership level setting. So generally, when a free member signs up, they get the email where they have to click on the link to activate their account. Generally, when paid members sign up, their profile is automatically set to active. Generally, when someone pays with a credit card, we know that it's probably that person, and it's not a fake account. But there are cases when you want to set free people, free users to auto activate the account upon sign up. And there are some instances where paid members, you want to moderate those, and although they might have paid and they're setting up their profile, the profile isn't necessarily public and active yet. So let me show you where that setting is. I'm going to back up to the dashboard again. And I really like this setting because it just, people want to moderate who's joining their site. And this really gives you full control over that. So you go to Finance, Manage Products, and let's edit, for example, this featured listing. So we have this set up as a paid membership. And then here, the second setting up here, you can't miss it. It says after sign up, set account status as active account or inactive account. So again, irregardless of their free or paid signups, you can choose if it's going to be an active or inactive account. Now, what you need to be aware of is the welcome email that gets sent. So generally, the free member signups, they have that welcome email that includes that link. And if they click that link to verify their email, it instantly switches their account from inactive to active. So if you want to keep them at the inactive level, just edit the email, the sign-up email that's sent to them upon sign-up, and just remove that link. And maybe you want to remove the link that they click and replace it with information on what the next steps are now that they've registered for your community and things they can look out for. So if you remove that link from the free welcome email that they get, they can't then auto-activate their accounts. So yeah, we had more lab updates. I just wanted to kind of breeze through these, keep you guys in the know on what's happening so far. Rick or Pat, do you guys have any feedback on any of these updates?
Besides the fact that there are great updates, a lot of functionality, you can definitely tell that the team is very engaged. Jason, excellent updates.
Yeah, I really like the export newsletter subscribers, especially if you're just getting started out. It's really easy to integrate a platform like MailChimp or HubSpot or Infusionsoft, but when you're getting started, there's really not a need to invest in integrations or anything like that. So the ability to export your newsletter signups, the people that submitted leads, people left reviews in a CSV file, it's really, really easy to upload it to MailChimp and continually add that. It just takes no longer than a minute to do the entire process from start to finish. So that's an awesome update. Yeah,
and big shout out to the Facebook group. 3 out of 5 of these were recommendations from the Facebook group. The export newsletter subscribers, the Post Affiliate Pro integration, and also adding the monthly changelog links, the convenience of having them right there in the admin area. So thank you to the Facebook group. All right, let's keep things rolling. We have a great segment from Rick's Corner today, simple solutions for common questions. And we're lucky enough to have Sherilyn with us as a special guest. And you guys today are going to cover a nice topic here, how to edit the metadata when sharing pages on Facebook. Can you guys tell us a little bit more about what the metadata is and how all this works?
Of course, Jason. So yeah, let's go ahead and take it away, Sherilyn. Welcome. Super happy to have you here.
Super happy to be here. Hope everyone's having a nice day as well.
Awesome. So yeah, we were talking about earlier about this specific area of the platform that really doesn't get too much attention, but it does play a big role, especially when you're sharing certain areas, in this case, specific static pages through social media. So it comes in very handy if you have a specific social media campaign that you want to target. You want to bypass the default values that Brilliant Directories sets you up with. So you want to take this again one step further, just to tailor those little sections that pay off in the long run. So Sherilyn, would you be so kind as to start sharing your screen with us and point us to the areas that we're going to be tackling today?
Of course, just 1 second, please.
I just wanted to give you a shout out from Lindsay, that says that thank you so much for all your help in this last couple of weeks. Um, all right, so let's go ahead. Let's jump to it. So we're going to be focusing today on static pages. Is that correct?
Yes, today we're going to be working on just the static pages, and we can find those inside the content folder within the edit web pages option. So we're going to go ahead and open this up, and what we're about to go through applies to all of the web pages, whether you've created a new one or any of the existing ones. So for this example, we're going to be focusing on the pricing page, which is the join page.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump to that specific page. Do you happen to have an example of the actual wording, how it comes before we update it, so that everyone is aware of the areas that we're going to be tackling?
Yes, yeah, of course. So the area we're going to be changing is on the sidebar over here, the social media share details. So the page as it is now, this is what we get when we share the page. It's sharing the home page image. And then here we have the default description and title that comes with all of these pages, which is the join website today, and then join the website and create your account today. So we're going to look at how to change this and just really personalize it, because I do feel that the customers, the members, and anyone looking at the social media can tell when you've taken some time to personalize these things, and it really does make a difference.
It makes a very big difference. It does come across as though you're not trying too much if you only have the default values. Nothing wrong with that, but if you're taking these extra steps to tailor your website towards your own industry, this is the type of things that you definitely want to focus on. And another thing to point out is that you can also take advantage of the fact that you can add a call to action to the description, for example. So I'm sure that you're going to walk us through that process here shortly.
Exactly, yeah. So we're going to start with the title here. And I already have a pre-made title. I'm going to switch it up, making it a little more personal. And I'm going to tell them to become part of the community. I'm going to just add a little, more familiarity to it. And then the description, I'm going to change that as well.
Very nice.
I'm going to add a little call to action, click to view. We want them to know where to click. And then, I'm telling them, pick the right account for you. So I'm just calling out to that person specifically. So I already picked something very fun, colorful. It'll just grab the attention. All right. And then let's go review the changes I made again.
Let me do this, Sheridan. Let me take the controls back for a minute, and let's try reconnecting with you again.
Okay.
Okay, let's try that, because I'm still getting the lag here. All right, so I'm in the dashboard, going to edit web pages, and you've modified the Facebook share stuff, metadata here. So social media share details become part of the, and then you have the website name here. So these variables are here. You can swap them out if you know what your website's name is. It's just there in case you change your website's name from the general settings and whatnot to be dynamic. I love that you said click to view here. Great call to action, and you're using a really awesome image. If you wanted to elevate this, you could even use an image like this, join today, and add your logo kind of in the top corner, make it part of the image. So you have like a really awesome image that has your branding on it. So let's go to view page. And let's say somebody wanted to share this page on Facebook. Well, I'm here on Facebook actually right now. And let's go ahead and share this. So this is what comes up. So this is exactly what you were talking about. If you change this stuff, you might not instantly see the update in Facebook, right?
Correct, yeah, especially if
Correct.
it's on your computer, because I'm the one making these changes on my computer. There could be caching issues.
Right. So there's.
So it's the
Go ahead.
debugger tool.
That's right. So Facebook has something called a debugger, because Facebook will store that information the first time it gets it. So if you make an instant change, it's not going to change automatically. What you can do is you can come to this debugger tool, and I just Googled Facebook debugger, put your URL in, and you can see what's being fetched by Facebook's share tool. And if you've made a change and you don't see it, you can always click scrape again. You can see here it says 2 minutes. I've seen times when it hasn't been last scraped was 2 months ago, which is fine if the share content hasn't changed. But you can click scrape again. And this is a great way to troubleshoot your own updates if you're not seeing them right away.
Yeah, because that can happen. Like Sherilyn was stating, we update everything on our end, we go and share, and we see the other information, and that's usually a bummer. So yeah, that's a great tip.
I'm curious if anyone who's joining us today has edited or modified their social media share content. Let's see here if anyone has their hand up. Looks like Nicholas has his hand up. Hey, Nicholas, we've just unmuted your mic. How you doing?
Good. How are you? Can you hear me well?
We can hear you well. Where are you calling in from?
I'm calling from Fort McMurray, Alberta, Canada.
All right. Welcome to the webinar. Yeah, have you used the options to edit the Facebook share content?
Yes, I did use it back actually in 2016, and I was doing a lot of scraping like you guys are doing in order to allow the new post to be displayed properly.
Gotcha. And did you notice that, were you doing a lot of the sharing on Facebook, or were users sharing your content more?
I was the one, promoting the new members that, let's say, gave me $200 or $500. Then I was promoting them, so I was the one using it.
Fantastic. What I like most is we recently added the image upload option, so you can easily change the image that's shared with a specific web page here without too many complications. Thank you for that, Nicholas, and good stuff there. Good to know that you're using the social media share links. All right. Any final notes, Rick or Sherilyn, about the social media share?
One other thing I wanted to point out is the fact that even if we change everything on those settings, what we're doing is suggesting stuff to Facebook and to their servers. They end up making the decision of what they end up printing. So even if we change everything, we do our best. Just keep in mind that we're not the ones to make the final decision on what gets published.
Google's been doing that a lot also, especially with meta descriptions. You can define what the meta description is of a page, but sometimes, depending on certain keyword searches and phrases, Google may utilize their own auto-generated meta description that shows in their search results. So definitely these agents are trying to give the best user experience, and sometimes it means that they're going to go with their version of the metadata and descriptions rather than your suggested one.
Thank you very much for that. Thank you so much, Sherilyn, for that insight. That was a great tip. Anything else you would like to add?
No, I think we covered everything. It's a pretty simple thing to change, and it really adds a lot of value to your website, I think.
All right, guys, good stuff here. We do have a tip of the week, but I just got word that we had an awesome add-on that was just released. So I'm going to take a quick timeout, and then we're going to dive into the tip of the week here, which is actually a really good one. It's the value of early feedback and why every new website project needs a beta launch. So we'll get to this in just a moment. Let me show you a new add-on that's just been released. If you have the VIP add-ons club, you do have this right now. It is the filter by star rating option. I'll throw a link here in the chat. You guys can check it out, and I'll show you a quick demo of how this works. It's really nice, and it actually, if you're using member reviews on your site, it adds a lot more value for encouraging your members to have higher star ratings and reviews. So let me show you exactly what we're looking at here. Let's go to a search results page. And with this add-on, you can now enable this new drop-down here where it lets you sort results by any star rating or members who have at least an overall star rating of 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. So let's search for members who only have overall star ratings of 5. So there's one member on this demo site that has an overall star rating of 5. Let's go down to 4. So there's 2 members. This one has a star rating of 4, so they're included in this. And then this Stacy member has 5, so it's 4 or more for the star rating. Let me show you where you guys can edit this and enable this drop down on your site if you'd like to. You can go to Settings and Design Settings. And if you'd like for that filter to show on your search results pages, it's in this first tab here under Search Results Design. Scroll down and you'll see this last new option here, Display Star Rating Filter, and you can select Disable or Enable. By default for you, if you have the VIP Add-ons Club, we've set it to Disabled, so you can come here and enable it if you'd like, and it adds another dimension to filter searches and also provides an incentive for your members to maintain a high review rating on your site. So that is now live for everyone as well. All right. Let's take a step back and also move forward to the tip of the week, the value of early feedback and why every new project needs a beta launch. And chances are, especially myself, when I first started my first directory website almost 10 years ago, I just dove right in, and I was just going off of my intuition and my assumptions. And I could have saved myself a whole lot of time if I took a step back and actually took advantage of the benefits of a beta launch. And Pat, I know that you're a big advocate for beta launches, especially with what you guys talk about with the directory gurus. Can you explain to us exactly kind of what the benefits or goals of a beta launch are and what it is exactly?
Yeah, sure thing. I think oftentimes, and especially, you know, if it's your first time launching an online business or any business whatsoever, you have an idea in your head, and usually the thing that gets in your way more than anything else is you wanting it to be the very best that it can be. And you know, it's not really a fault to really want things to be as good as they can be, but if you've never launched a business before and you wait until everything is perfect, that's probably going to take you a lot of time. It's probably going to take you a lot of money. And since it's your first time you're running an online venture, you don't really have the experience, and you haven't received any feedback whatsoever if whether or not this idea you have that might be a success is going to work. So when you do not do a beta launch, when you do not take steps to get early feedback, to get out there and see if this idea you have is a viable idea, then you really run the risk of spending a lot of energy and money in an idea that perhaps was never really going to have a good chance to succeed. Myself, for example, I ran a travel agency. It was the first business I ever ran here in Costa Rica when I moved here, and I worked really hard on my travel agency for 7 years, and it took a very long time for me to realize one of the best business lessons I ever heard in life is, what table are you sitting at? Meaning, if it's a poker analogy, meaning who else is sitting at the table with you? So I wanted to be a travel agency, but I was competing against Expedia. I was competing against TripAdvisor. I wasn't offering anything different than these other travel agencies, which had billions of dollars, if not millions of dollars, and some of them their marketing budgets. So I spent 7 years fighting giants, not really solving a problem in the industry. And the next thing you knew, I had to close my business. It was not a viable product. So the whole concept of a beta launch is, don't do what I did. Don't spend 7 years trying to launch an idea and not finding out before you spent a ton of energy and money to see if it even had a viable chance to succeed at the beginning stages. So the whole point of the webinar today is to give you guys tips and steps to follow to get that super valuable early feedback to see if you're on the right track and if this business idea or concept you have has a real chance to succeed.
Yeah, it's really for everyone's benefit to save you time, And it's okay if, let's say you go through this whole discovery process with your beta launch and you realize, let's say there is no demand, at least you find out earlier than later. And there's a lot of value in that. So I'll just read off this list really quickly. So the goals of a beta launch is to find out if your idea is even worth it. Is there a demand? With the early feedback, are you going to get good insight of if your product has viability? With that feedback, you can also refine your original idea. And as you're talking to people and getting that feedback, you can improve your pitch and talking points. You guys know what focus groups are. Ad agencies use focus groups to find out the specific words to use when they're to pitch a product to the public. And it's important to know what those talking points should be for your industry. And the only way to do it is to talk to people in a beta launch scenario and get that feedback and figure out what specific phrases and words people are using. And also those people that you're talking to, you can build relationships with them. So once you're out of the beta launch stage, you can eventually reach out to them with your real product. And hopefully with all the feedback, it's going to be a killer product that they want.
Yeah, and Jason, for anybody that's listening to the webinar that says, hey, I already launched my website, maybe this webinar isn't really going to relate to me, I can tell you that at some point, we're going to give you a tip that my existing customers still use to this day that is basically their highest converting strategy to land new members. So using this whole beta launch strategy, we're going to give you that tip. So even if you've already launched your website, I can assure you're going to get great value today.
We just talked about all the awesome points and goals and outcomes of a beta launch. So just a short list of what can happen without a beta launch. And a lot of it is falling into traps that you set for yourself. You're making assumptions about the industry or the people in that industry. You're probably doing more work in setup and investing more time than is required to create a simple product that the people actually want. And again, with that, you're risking your time without any real data. Now, it's okay to jump into an idea and get excited about an idea, but the approach in which you start working on that idea, you have to be very careful about your resources, and that's your personal time and your money. And also without a beta launch, again, you're jumping into the idea blindly, or you're using your own phrases and you're using your pitch that you haven't tested yet. So you might be missing opportunities to gather that critical feedback that's going to eventually set you up for success when you try to reach out to the masses. I've seen a lot of people just launch their website without any feedback, not even feedback from friends and family. They put a huge budget into Facebook ads or Google ads, and then it's crickets. Nobody's signing up. No one's doing anything. And it's not that they have a bad idea. It's probably the way the website is pitching the idea is incorrect. So again, you want that critical feedback. And then also, if you launch too early without that data, you're going to be jeopardizing your brand. You might be just setting yourself up for failure, and you want to set yourself up for success. And that's really what the goal of a beta launch is giving yourself all the chances to be successful with your business idea. So as Pat mentioned, there is good news. Even if you've launched your site, it's not too late. Beta launches are a continuous and ongoing practice that every business can implement and improve to improve their products and services. So what you have right now, that could be the feedback that you're looking for. If you've already launched and there isn't too much traction or activity, it's not a problem. Use that to gain the feedback with the tips we're going to show you on how to execute a successful beta launch here. So Pat, so we know the goals of a beta launch. How does it tie into the benefits here? How are they a little different?
Okay, so yeah, so the benefits are things that you might not realize you're going to get out of doing a beta launch, things that might fly a little bit under the radar. One of the things that comes out to me right away is the entire winning over early adopters. And for those of you that might be new terminology for you, but if you've come up with an innovative idea, an innovative solution to a problem, that means that it's new to the market. And the people that are going to be the most passionate about your idea are going to be early adopters. So by running a beta launch, what you're going to be doing during that beta launch is you're going to be building relationships with these people that love to be at the cutting edge of new solutions and ideas that tackle ongoing issues. So that's one of the benefits. These are going to be your ambassadors as you go into new markets. They're going to have more patience because they're going to understand it's a new solution, there's bugs, and they'll really be the people you can work with on a regular basis to continually improve the services that you're trying to offer to them. Also, it's going to allow you to get familiar with your pitch. So you're doing a beta launch, it's going to require you getting on the phone, it's going to require you building landing pages, and essentially it forces you to sell your idea before your idea is fully developed. I find that oftentimes people, and I use this terminology, I think I use it on my homepage on Project Pat, as I ask people straight up, are you building a website or are you building a business? It's a lot of fun to build a website, to build landing pages, but if you're not actually trying your pitch out, if you're not trying to sell, if you're not trying to see if you can get people engaged and interested in your product, if that's not what you're spending your time on, you're probably building a website and you're not building a business. The sooner you start talking to potential customers, the sooner you start running ads to landing pages and seeing if they convert, the sooner you're going to get to find out if this idea that you're working on is viable or not. That's really the difference between somebody that's running a business and wants to see if it can succeed or not, to somebody that is really just delaying that initial launch. And the reason why a lot of us delay, and I was guilty of this myself, is that the reason why you build your website, the reason why you continually design, the reason why you continually try to add new features and continue to tell yourself it's not ready yet, is because there's a big fear of rejection. The moment that you start trying to sell your idea, it's when you open up the door to people potentially telling you that what you're trying to offer them is not really a solution that they're interested in. And that's why you keep delaying yourself with busy work and continually design changes and color schemes, and I need this and I need that before I can talk to people. And I can tell you with experience that that's actually not true. It's the opposite. You'd be better off talking to people before even launching a website and seeing if there's any interest at the grassroots level of what it is you're trying to solve.
Yeah, I definitely agree. That was definitely valuable advice there, Pat. So in a nutshell here, again, you're setting yourself up for success with a beta launch. And again, it's that early feedback, whether it's people loving your idea or hating your idea. It's the goal here is to save you time so that you can move on or pivot as needed. All right, so here's the fun stuff, like how to roll out your beta launch. And it's all about discovery and feedback, and more discovery and more feedback, and modifying your original idea till you have hopefully a viable product that the majority of the market, or at least the people you're getting feedback from, are excited to sign up to. So there's a few ways to do discovery. One of the easiest ways is to join community groups of your potential customers or members and see if they have the problem you're hoping to solve, or create a solution for, or provide a service for. You can reach out. You don't have to say you're with a specific company, because at this point probably nothing exists yet. Just find out if people have those pain points. And Pat, you had mentioned like a sample post. Just you can say it verbally. Like you can join one of these groups and post something like what?
Exactly. So let's say, I'm just going to, off the top of my head, let's say my directory is going to tackle the issue of online reviews, and I have a solution that can help people with their online reputation. So I have this idea, and people can reply to reviews on Brilliant Directories. There's a great review module. I'm going to launch it as an alternative source to Yelp, as an example. For lawyers, I'll be very specific to an industry. So then what I would do is I would start going to lawyer Facebook groups, and I wouldn't ever use my brand. I would go in as a lawyer.
As a group member.
As a group member, correct. And I would say, hey guys, I'm having issues with reviews. Does anybody in this group have any softwares or solutions or any ideas on how I can solve this problem that I'm having? There's two things that are going to happen. you might learn of competitors that you never knew existed, which is really, 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 really important to know before you invest money and time into a solution. Because perhaps you haven't found a website that offers what you offer, but perhaps there's somebody there that's already doing it. Just because they're already doing it doesn't mean that your idea isn't viable. Of course, you can do it better, but it's really important to know the landscape of competition for the services that make it your unique competitive advantage when you're calling lawyers, because they're going to say, oh yeah, I'm already using these guys. So it'll be important for you to realize what's the differentiating factor between you and the potential customers. Or you may find out that it's just a big issue and people say, yes, this is an issue, there's no solution. At that point, you've basically, it's a great proof of concept that the communities of lawyers are saying, yeah, we have an issue tackling online reputation. There's not really a service out there that tackles that. And then you know that whatever you invest in, it's going to be a unique service that you'll be offering that particular industry.
Perfect. Yeah. So you blew my mind there. Yeah, it is. You find out if there's already competitors out there, if they recommend any solutions. You can see how developed those solutions are, and you can see if it's really a problem. If you don't get any reactions, then there probably isn't a demand in the industry for that. So again, saving yourself time. Let's say there is some interest, Pat. So now that you've kind of see that people are having that problem or looking for that type of service or solution, what's the next step? Linking them to a landing page to do what? What does that landing page have on it exactly?
So, and I think this ties in a little bit to that secondary offer. There is an adage that says fake it till you make it. So if you're just doing it for research purposes, again, I don't know how many lawyers there are in the US or how many dentists or how many chiropractors, but I'm assuming it's a fairly high volume. So you may even want to make as if your full product exists, build a landing page for that product, and see if people fill out the form to get more information on that product, even though you haven't fully developed it. And I know that for some people they'll be more comfortable with that approach or not. I personally love that approach because you're not going to run it for eternity. You might run it for just a couple of days, get 500 people to visit the page and see how many of them have engaged with that content. If you're getting a good response, then you know you're onto something. Again, these are all just confirmation points that it's worth taking your venture one step further.
So create a landing page to see if people are interested in receiving more information on this service or product that solves a potential problem.
Correct.
Or provides a type of solution. So nothing fancy, just something simple, and that's going to be an indicator where there's interest or not, and if you should move forward with your idea or not, or if you need to modify your pitch on that landing page.
That's correct. That's correct.
Okay. So that's one way to interact with people, and then there's two other ways we mentioned here: cold calling businesses and in-house visits.
Yeah, so the third point, and that's what I teased earlier in the webinar, is actually my personal favorite. And if you're having trouble getting through to people on the phone and getting them to engage with your directory, I really hope you pay attention to this section because this is about one of the best tips I can share on a webinar. So if I have a directory website, regardless of the industry, I can try to call people like a veterinarian, for example, and I can pitch them on joining my directory. And if anybody that's tried to do that, I'm sure will share with us how difficult of a journey that is because it's a sales call. And every single one of us on this webinar, we're all bombarded with sales calls. We get called every day by credit card companies, insurance companies, people wanting surveys. Everybody wants our money. So what that means is when we get that phone call, we disengage, even if the product or the credit card fees or the reward points, even if they're giving us an amazing deal, we just kind of check out on the phone. So it's not your fault that the people you're calling are checking out. So one strategy that I know works really well for my customers is they use the beta launch strategy even though they have a live website. So for example, I would call a veterinarian and I would say, hello, Dr. Smith. I'm calling part of this association. The reason we're calling is that we've discovered that there's a concern in this industry for X, Y, and Z, and we want to know if you share that concern. Is that a problem for you? I want to connect with them emotionally. I want to tell them what the problem is, and I want to see if they agree with us that it's a problem. If you've really highlighted a problem that they're facing, they're going to say, yes, that's an issue for me. And you do not transition into the sales call right there on the spot. What you tell them is you say, great, what do you think about this as a solution to that problem? Because you're not making a sales call, and because you're building a relationship and you're trying to address an issue that's common in the industry, you'll see that the conversation is a lot friendlier. They're not on edge, and then you can close that call and basically say something along the lines of saying, well, thank you so much for your feedback. Would you mind if I called you in a couple of weeks when I have a little bit more information about the solution we have to this problem? And you'll be shocked about the difference in results on your phone calls, because people now are not worried about what you're having to say. They've opened up to you and they say, yeah, I'd love to hear more about it. And that way you're setting up your following call. When you go into your sales pitch, ideally the person you're talking to on the phone has already spoken to you. You don't want to make your sales pitch on the first call basis unless you have tremendous sales experience and you have the skills to close on an initial first call. But I believe building relationships is always the best route to take.
And Pat, you actually touched on something that we covered in previous webinars, where you need to have a mission. So when you're calling this person, we'll use the veterinarian as an example, you're not selling them something, you're asking them if they have a problem, and you're letting them know that your organization is set out to help solve that problem. And if you move forward with solving that problem, will they get behind you, or are they interested with finding out what you come up with to help solving that problem or providing that solution? So that again goes back to changing it from like a business directory to an organization that has a mission and a purpose, and it's serving a specific industry and the people in that industry, and it's set out to do good for the people in that industry. And that's something professionals can get behind.
I agree.
And then you mentioned it, follow up with the people who show interest, and then use their feedback to refine your final product. That goes to the keywords and phrases that are literally coming out of their mouths, the problems that they're saying. You want to reflect the commonalities between what people are telling you, and make sure you're using similar verbiage on your site and in your materials, because we know that those are the words that resonate with potential people when you launch your product. All right, so let's say you're sending people to landing pages, you're talking to people. What are the metrics and key performance indicators that someone should look out for, Pat, to find out if this idea has legs and they should move forward with the next step of investing more money in development, more of their personal time, bringing on partners and investors and whatnot? Are there complicated metrics to look at just to find out if you have a good idea or not?
I really don't think they're that complicated. I think that slide lays them out very simply there for you. And basically, let's say you have a landing page. You want to basically see how many people have gone to my landing page, whether I did social media campaigns, pay-per-click, whatever it means I did, go to forums. You should have Google Analytics set up. That's just the basic tip, is have Google Analytics set up so you know how many people have gone to that page. And then based on that volume, you're going to see how many people have filled out a form. So normally on a landing page, you want to have a form. There has to be some reason that they're going to give you their email. That's the point of your beta launch, is are you interested? And that's the metric that you're going to see if they're interested. The confused metric, that's when you're calling them. So you're talking to them on the phone, you're pitching your idea. To you, you've been thinking about it for years. It's clear as day in your head what you're solving. But when you're talking to people, how long is that pitch for you to convey what it is you're trying to solve? The more time you need to spend on the phone with them, the more confusing the solution is that you're proposing to them. So that's a good metric, is do they get it right away? Does it take a long time for them to get it? And then of course, are they willing to sign up? And if you can gather what they'd be willing to pay or what value they associate to that solution, that's incredible information before you do your final launch.
Awesome. And with the final launch, that's getting your site set up, your formal site, and then driving traffic to it, which is again the second level of your time and financial investment in your online business. But it's good to know that you got strong feedback from potential users. You have potential users who are ready to sign up and to be your first members on your site because you've already researched them. You've gathered email addresses from your landing pages. So you're already setting yourself up for success just by being smart about the way you approach your business's launch.
That's correct. Basically, I know Brilliant Directories, for example, has a marketplace. I have a listing in the marketplace, and it's for people looking for customization and get development assistance. Basically, my recommendation is you reach out to the marketplace once you've done some sort of proof of concept, some sort of beta launch on your website. Because if you start reaching out to developers by nature just want to build whatever you ask them to build. So there's no data behind the value of that. So I always recommend if you can find a way to do a beta launch, talk to potential customers, test out your idea before you engage with development companies. It's definitely the best approach to take, because when you do engage with any sort of development or go to any sort of marketplace and hire additional people to your team to build out new features or functionality or design layouts, you'll have a lot more confidence that the money you're spending into that is worth the investment because you've already tested the concept.
Perfect. And in a nutshell, guys, some of this is higher level, some of this is really easy to comprehend. If any of this seems like a lot of work, I think I could break it down in a nutshell. Talk to as many people as you can about your idea, or not. You don't have to say your idea, but find out if there's a problem in the industry for the idea that you want to create a solution for. And use that feedback to craft the ultimate product and website that you're going to launch. Because if you go into it blind, you're really just going off of your own assumptions and your own ideas. And it's not that they're bad, but crowdsourcing information from potential members is invaluable, and it will save you a lot of time and set you guys up for success. So thanks, Pat, for helping with this presentation. It's super valuable here.
Awesome. I really enjoyed it. Thank you, Jason.
All right, so let's turn it over to you guys. We got some time left in the webinar for some Q&A. So if you have any questions about your membership website, maybe you're trying to do some small modifications, you have questions about how to set your site up for marketing, and we'll unmute your mic here. All right, we're going to unmute Lois here. How are you today, Lois?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Very good. Thank you for joining the webinar today.
Oh, always enjoy it.
Awesome. What's your question for us today?
One of my sites, OttawaValleyRealEstate.com. I've uploaded a listing, and when visitors open up this listing, how can I make it appear as full page and hide the header and all that?
Got you. Yeah, you can definitely do that. Let's preview this page. So you're saying you don't want the sidebar here. Is that what you're saying?
I want the sidebar. I don't want the header.
Okay.
Like the menu and the logo and all that.
So this is, so we have the admin toolbar here. This is actually an easy one. So this is the template that's powering this page is the SEO template number 303. So I'm going to just open this in a new tab. And the nickname for this one is the details for group details. We call it a group of photos since it's multi-photo. This type of page. So this is going to affect all the multi-photo detail pages. So if you have like classified listings, product listings, I think it's fine to do this though. You can go to display settings and we can hide the header. And let's save the changes and cross our fingers here. Let's refresh the page. Just a moment. Okay, so now on these detail pages, the header is gone, but what's nice is actually you do have the breadcrumb here, so people could, and you know who posted it. So there are ways to kind of get out of this page and get to other areas of the site if needed still.
Can you control the breadcrumbs, Jason, in the SEO template?
You can, and we have documentation on it. There are some variables you can use here.
But you could remove them, for example, if you wanted to. Sorry, was my question.
Yeah,
if you didn't want the breadcrumbs.
If you wanted to, you could just delete the values from here, and it won't show the breadcrumbs.
That's great.
All right. All right, thanks so much for your question there. All right, I think we got time for one more question here. I see a new name here, Ronnie. Ronnie, how you doing today?
I'm doing fine. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you great. Where are you calling in from?
I'm calling in from Sacramento, California.
All right, great. I'm down here in Los Angeles. And how'd you like the presentation today so far?
Excellent.
Okay, what was something helpful that you found in today's presentation?
Well, I think what it's showing me is the potential of what I could do with this, looking at all the other, sites that are already in development. I'm at that pre-beta launch stage. I'm just beginning to tinker with this and just want to get it to a very basic stage so I can start talking to other people. But it's definitely showed me the potential to modify to a degree that I wasn't aware of.
Yeah, you can do a lot of modifications. It could become addictive, the level of modification. So that's why we say kind of stay the course of like the beta launch model, like get people's feedback, like things like that, because it's very easy to get sucked into the design. It's very fun. But that's great to hear. What's your question for us today?
The question is, as I mentioned, I'm at the very, very beginning, and I'm putting together a site that is for helping seniors or their caregivers, family members, to navigate through their care journey. And so what I'm doing is bringing together the services that can help them to either stay at home or to transition into some type of senior residential living. So it's both sides there. But am I able to modify the size of a form? All I want to do is, if I'm talking to someone now, if someone by chance went to the site, they could fill out the form to get assistance. But when I created this form, it's showing up very small and in one little corner.
Can we take a look at your site together?
Sure, and it's real basic, but
it's okay.
It's parachutes, like parachute, but C-A-R-A for care, parachutes.
So I think I already know where this is. So where do you have your form, for example?
Right there, under Get Assistance.
Okay. Love your homepage. Let me see here. Get Assistance.
That little blue, okay, yes. So I have this little teeny form, and I don't know why it looks like that.
Okay. And you created this form on your own?
Yes.
And this is a lead form of people who might be interested in getting matched?
Right.
Okay. We do have you do have a default lead form that I would recommend as your starting point, and then further modifying from there. So I see here it says looking for. Are these your categories as well?
Yes, I just put some basic categories in there.
Cool. Yeah, let me see here if you have your Get Matched page.
No, I think I created a new one.
Okay, so
yeah, the reason why it's so great to use the Brilliant Directories Get Matched form and modify that one is you have a lot of settings that you can control in the lead settings of that form. So do you want top levels to show, top and sub, sub? Do you want the location? Do you want the location with the map? Do you want to have what is the best time for them to reach out to you? So basically in the lead settings, you can control what displays in that form, and the layout and CSS of the form will look right the first time.
Okay, and that brings me to kind of where you were going with the first response. For the senior placement, I don't want them to search for anything. I just want them to click on the Get Assistance. We will contact them and take them further. But on the other side, where we're looking to have service providers, probably more like mobile service providers that have certifications for the senior market, it could be something like certified, real estate agents that work with seniors, or relocation specialists. So we would want those to be matched, but for the living, residential portion, we want to talk to them. So I need, I guess, two forms. One would be for that blue button I had on the front.
Yeah.
And then eventually I'd like to be able to have, where they could search and, find a service provider. So can I have those two scenarios?
Absolutely. So what I would do first is I would link people to this page rather than the page you created, because now we have the form here. So let me take it to the next level here. It's asking to select an option. It's basically asking them to choose the top level category. So instead of select an option, let's change the text here. So we can easily change that to let's see here. This is a select an option. So we have a few of them here. Select an object, get matched category select. So that is what do you need? And then the next one is like select a specialty. Select a specialty. All right, let's save those changes. And I'll get rid of it. So now when you come here, so it's very similar to the page you created. So what do you need? I need caregivers, specialty, certified dementia professional, and then this is what comes to you. Now you have this sidebar here. You could remove these items if you like or not. Satisfaction promise. It's just a confidence booster here. But what I can do for you is let me do this. Since you already created this page. Let me close some of these here. So because you already created this page, do you want to use the assistance/assistance URL?
Yes.
Okay, so let's edit this page and let me just copy over what I have. This is okay. That's getting a little buggy there. So let me just open this and go to assistance page. And actually what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to delete the assistance page. You actually did things correctly. I think just you have it set to full page mode. That's why it's showing on the side there. But what I'm going to do is delete that. And then I'm going to refresh this. And we're going to use assistance for this. Okay, great. So now if we go to your home page, it should take us to, there we go, just had to refresh. So there you go. So this is your assistance page. Get assistance, speak to certified senior advisor, enter name, what do you need, so-and-so, submit. Let's even take this one step further, again, for the sake of showing people the possibilities of how to spruce things up. Instead of that submit, let's change the verbiage there from submit to get connected now.
Oh, great.
Always want to be proactive to getting people get connected now, and that's fine. I'll save the changes, and we can get rid of these things. So now it says get connected now. Okay. Well, I think you have a good start here. You can definitely link to your search results once you have members. I like your site. It's very simple. It's not too cluttered. Yeah, I think you're on a good path here of keeping things simple. And imagine, the purpose of this site is to get people connected. You're creating that marketplace. Just give them a reason to fill out the form. Show them confidence boosters. Make it easy. They can fill out the form in 1 or 2 clicks, and then once they fill out the form, it's on you to deliver that perfect match for them. And that's word of mouth marketing comes from that, and all that good stuff. That's the problem you're solving and the service you're offering there.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you. Great site. All right, guys. Well, great webinar today. I want to thank everyone for joining. We did cover the tip of the week, which is the value of early feedback. I think sharing some of the sites we did today, a lot of relatable topics there. I also want to thank Sherilyn and Rick for the great presentation on the Facebook sharing options. And also all the BD Lab updates. Shout out to the Brilliant Directories development team and the support team there. You guys are awesome. And also to everyone in the Facebook group. Thanks for all your suggestions. If you guys haven't already done so, please go to directorygurus.com and watch Pat and Bruce's presentation on the success blueprint for a directory website. I think it's about 30 minutes. It's free to watch, and it's just awesome content. It'll open your eyes up to so many new things. Do you have any final things you want to say about this, Pat?
No, I love today's presentation, and I really hope to hear some of our listeners beta launches. I'd love to hear in future webinars that they tried to implement some of these strategies and see how it worked out for them.
Likewise, absolutely. And if you haven't already done so, please join us in the Facebook group. You can go to brilliantdirectories.com/Facebook, and we can continue the conversation there. Have a great week, guys, and catch you in the next webinar. We missed last week's webinar. We're actually going to do back-to-back webinars, so we'll have another webinar next week. So we'll catch you in next week's webinar. Have a great week, guys.
Have a brilliant day, everyone.